And what is up, everybody? Jeremy here, excited to bring to you another Starfield Creation Kit tutorial video. This is tutorial number 20 coming at you. Today we're going to talk about explosions, how to place it in your environment, and how to set them off. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as everything does help out. And once again, this is part of an entire series, so if you want to learn how to get into the Creation Kit for the very first time, be sure to check out the beginning of this series. It will help you get set up, help you get started on how to use the Creation Kit, and you'll be creating your very first creation in about 20 to 13 minutes. So that's how I set it up, something that took me 8 hours to figure out for the very first time. So it's all here so you can get started right away. Now let's get into what we're doing. Let's set up an explosion. So here we are using our standard we're using our standard files. So we are using the asset master file that we've been using this whole time, and that's using the Starfield ESM and SFBG S006.ESM. There's a part of me that says I should just load up all the default files that are in the game, but I don't know. All right, so a few parts that are needed to make this happen. We need a marker to determine that this is where the explosion is going to happen, right? So something needs to say the explosion happens here. And then we need to have the explosion and then something to say do the explosion, right? So I guess three parts to it. So let's get our marker out first. So here is, well, just FYI, here's the wall that we're going to explode. So like in the last tutorial, we were using enable markers to disable a wall or enable something else. So if we go to layers, we have this disabled wall, and then it'll explode, and then it turns into this like broken wall section, and of course a robot pops out. But right now it looks weird. Also, you just see a fade transition. Also, these guys here. We want explosion to set this scene off, like cover things up a little bit, so that way there's some kind of transition that happens to where this wall like disappears and something else appears in its place. So that's what we're going to do. So we have this disabled wall. So basically this is what it looks like afterwards. So what we need to do is like, yeah, we'll work on the default layer for now. So let's look up in our object window, xmarker. So yeah, these are just generic markers. They can say, hey, something happens here. Right, I'm going to use this to be explosion marker. So I'm going to double click on this one, have this load up, and in the reference I'm going to put in explosion marker 01. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Now let's look up our explosion. So let's go in here and you'll see, or I should say explosion. So in here in the object window, you have all these guys with this explosion marker, explosion icon. These are your explosion effects. So it ranges from asteroids to boost pack explosion to electrical explosion small. So you have all of these, and the ones that we're going to use are going to be the canister explosions, the big canister explosions. So Horizon, if you double click on this, to show you what's going on. All right, so all of these are based on an art file to show you what happens. So what I liked about the horizontal explosion is that it creates kind of like this wall of flame. So that's what I like about it. So other properties and stuff that you should look a bit into is like, all right, so what is this? What does force mean? Well, what's nice about this one, you can just mouse over it and see what happens. The impact of force of the explosion, right? Kind of like how big it is, and what, like basically, it's associated to the stagger. Right, your force, like how far does this impact force goes out and staggers you. That's how I view it. And then this is how big of the stagger it is. Damage, that's how much it hurts you. Duration, how long of this effect will be there before it expires, and like the things that are part of this art file, like when will they disappear? Right, there's one explosion, there's a chest bomb explosion where you see body parts get flown out, right? But then those body parts will disappear. That's part of the art file. Inner radius. This is where you get the full brunt of the damage, right? So that's 2 meters or 2 grid spots, I guess. I'm guessing it's 2 grid spots. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what. I'll call it meters. Sure. Outer radius, so how far from there? So 5. I'm guessing it's grid spots. 5 grids, but which I'm guessing could be meters. But 5 between like the inner radius and the outer radius. This is where the damage drops off linearly. All right. IS, how far you see it. This is image space radius, how far you see that image or the image space effect. Vertical offset multiplier, the amount of units to vertically offset the explosion from the origin it was placed. So that's interesting to see. I don't know how this works. Place object auto fade delay, the amount of time before auto fading a transient placed object. So if there, I'm guessing if you placed an object here, like which is this thing. Like, does it fade? Will it fade on its own? I mean, I guess 0. When you have that as a default, that means it's probably set to untrue. So it doesn't. It means everything, right? Infinite. Spawn a projectile. Like maybe you have some electrical stuff that fades out, or maybe some other projectiles that might come out of it. But yeah, this is associated to chain on bounds. Stagger. So how big does it stagger you? Yeah, so magnitude of the stagger caused by explosion. Light. I'm surprised this one doesn't have any light, but the light the explosion emits, so you have a little flash, whatever it might be. The sound. Enchantment. It's like, what's that? Like maybe, let me see. I think there's probably something like, yeah, like disable. No, yeah, maybe the explosion disables your boost pack. What other enchantments are there? I think there's something like revolves around, yeah, like a gas mine or sleep gas. So that could be something like maybe gas pops out of it. So that's probably something that might be involved there. There might be, let me see. Is there another one that we could look at just for reference? Gas flare explosion, harvest gas explosion. See what happens. Is there enchantment there? No, no enchantment. Inferno mine explosion. Yeah. Oh, no, nothing. So they just put a hazard in its place. Okay. So that's the option. They just put a hazard there. Incendiary. So incendiary grenade hazard. They just put a hazard in there. Okay. Let's take a look at this real quick. Oh. I shouldn't have done that. It's loading up the whole like list right now. Because I'm wondering, like, do the hazards like fade away on its own? So let me look up incendiary grenade hazard. Let's do that real quick. But yeah, let's learn real quick. I want to know incendiary hazard. So, okay, radius 4.5, lifetime 12. Okay, so it fades out on its own. That's what I'm assuming. Can I mouse over this? No. No. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So yeah. So explosion happens. Maybe you place a hazard. Look, this one is a test engine fire hazard. So I'm guessing there's a little bit of fire that lays on the floor for this, which it does. So that's how that works, guys. So that I think we hit everything. Oh, IS mod. So image space modifier that plays when an explosion occurs. So we're putting the explosion of a grenade in there. But yeah, let's look this up. So this is interesting. You see all this. See that right there? And let me zoom out. It previews the effect for you. If you hit play, that's what it does. So you have an image effect. The visual effect happened there, and we're basing it off the explosion grenade iMod, and I guess you can change this. You can optimize or determine what you want to do, but I think this is good enough. This is good enough for it. All right, so that's your image-based graphic. I think, did we cover everything? Yeah, we did. So this is interesting too. What I'm gonna do. Well, yeah, we'll do that afterwards. But anyway, we have our effect. We're gonna use the explosion of the canister horizontal. because I feel like that's best for a wall. And what you can do too is like maybe you say, all right, you know what, this is not enough for the wall. You could say, I want to add another marker and like I have multiple explosions at this wall to fulfill or to show what I wanted to do as an effect. All right, so we've identified a marker, we've identified an explosion. Let's put it all together, and we need to go into the quest to do that. So essentially, you need a place where you can put a fragment, a papyrus fragment, and set up properties for that fragment. So I'm going to do the one for destroy the big one. So this is the one from the last tutorial where we said, hey, after we completed objective 5, all right, this is what we're doing. After we completed objective 5, we destroyed the robots, and the script said, hey, you kill these robots, move on to stage 10. And we go into stage 10, we are identifying this. We're going to set the objective to be completed. We're going to disable that wall that's currently in place and replace it with a broken wall, and also have a brand new big robot show up. That's what we're doing with the enable and disable markers. And then set the objective displayed as 10. So now this is your new target. So what we want to do is have an explosion happen right here to cover up this transition between having a wall that's disabled and a broken wall enabled. So we're going to go to properties, and I'm going to add a new property. So let's go ahead and zoom out. So that's the whole window. I'm going down here to add a new property, and that's a new property right here. It's going to be explosion. Let's do the explosion first, and this is going to be explosion effect 01. Hit OK. So now we have that pop up, and we have one more property to add. It's going to be an object reference. So this is where we're going to reference the marker. So this is going to be the explosion marker 01. That's the name of it. And if you want to help yourself out, this may be something. It's like this is like the notes documentation string. So it's like place where or marker where explosion happens. Right. So help yourself out. If you're making something big, it's like, oh, what's this do? Maybe you should have that. And yeah. Anyway, I didn't do it for the effect. So here we go. Let's go to canister explosion, horizontal explosion. Perfect. That's the one we want. And then for explosion marker, so that what's nice, it may automatically set it up for you, but let's just double check. Double click that. So yeah, let's do it where we clear it, and then edit the value, pick the reference there, and then your cursor will change because like you don't know, but yeah, it did select the correct one. So hit OK. And now we add our script. So the property that we're using, so usually the first part here is the property or the variable. But so I just created explosion marker 01. So that's the subject. And what you want is place at me. So place at me an explosion. So at explosion marker 01, I want to place at it, which you're using place at me. Explosion effect 01. So those are the properties that we just created, right? So here's the other thing. You could say, you could do get player. If you do that, get player, place at me an explosion, boom, you explode. So that's what, like something like that. So you could place it on an actor. If you say, all right, like maybe the quest that you set up is like, all right, I'm placing a bomb in someone's inventory, explode that bomb, and yeah. That's what you can do, and set up the appropriate conditions. Like, does this person have the bomb in his inventory? If so, explode that person. That's the idea that you could do there too. So yeah, anyway, explosion effect 01, compile it. Nothing happened, or no errors popped up. So there we go. We have an explosion. Let's go check it out. Right? Are we ready to check it out? Check it out. Hit OK. All right, let's hit OK. Let's save. And then let's load up again. Let's fast forward. All right, we're in the game. Let's go ahead and load in. And we got our overpowered weapon. Let's go in here. Let this guy come out. Kill him. An explosion should happen. Hey! Perfect. So there you go. So that was a transition. Of course, Maybe you want to have more effects here, like maybe you see some flames happening on the wall. Maybe this wall's not so rectangularly broken like that. So, but yeah, that's the idea. So you could look into the different objects to make this wall better. But we'll do one more thing because I thought this was a fun thing to do. We're going to add more markers. And one thing you could do here is like, all right, I know how to set up properties. If you want to just make things faster for yourself, okay? Because like you saw that when you go to properties, you need to add each one. But here you go. Here's another way to do it. Go to advanced, edit the script. I have my external editor here. So this is the, I'm using Notepad++. So we have these properties, right? So explosion, property effect. So that's the explosion. So this is the type, property, and that's the variable. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to set up a second explosion, or a second explosion effect. And then I'm going to have the, so interesting. So I can like add, if I want to add more notes to this, I can say, all right, here. Explosion effect used. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but yeah, if you want to add those additional notes to help you, you can. But yeah, so we're going to add 2 more of these. So explosion marker 2, explosion marker 3. So zoom in real quick. So that's what I did. So I've just copied these. And to do this, to make it work, just hit save, move this over, and then go to Papyrus Fragment and compile. And then go to properties now. Those new markers are set up. New markers or variables are set up. So that's something I want to do. So marker 2, marker 3. So I need to set this up in the field. So I'm just going to duplicate this. So what's nice, if you just duplicate it, it already changed the name to be marker 02. See that? Marker 02. So it's already going the process that I was thinking of. Duplicate again. And now I should have, if I didn't duplicate it again. There's marker 3. Hey. Alright, so let's create a new explosion. We're going to edit the canister large explosion 01, the vertical version. I'm going to call this J Ramos Works Ramtech canister large explosion, or I could say robot placement explosion. So playing around with the placed object idea, I'll put J Ramos Works. We're going to place an object here, which is going to be the J Ramos Works robot. I want the combat room robot. So there you go. So after this explosion, set of explosions, they're going to pop up a robot. Create new form? Yes. Let it work. Let it do its thing. Doing your thing, guy? Still doing your thing? Do your thing. All right, there it is. So now we go back into our quest. And to destroy the big one, we are going to have these guys. Oh, wait. I need to set them up first. Properties. I need to set the markers. So that's one thing that I noticed that you can't do. It's just identify what the property is. Yeah, so that's one thing you can't do in a script. An explosion. This is going to be the J Ramos Works robot placement explosion. So in case you can't see that, there it is. Okay, hit OK. And then what we're going to have here is after everything is set, we're going to add these 2 explosions. So explosion marker 2, explosion marker 3 is going to have explosion effect 02. So that's the new one that we just created. And what we're going to do here is we're going to stagger these just a little bit. So after the original explosion, we're going to do utility.wait, in an exclamation or in parentheses, put in how long you want to wait. So wait 2 seconds, right? And then stagger these 2. And let me make sure I spell utility right. And then I want 0.5 seconds to stagger between these 2. Compile it. Looking good. Hit OK. And I know this was a problem before. I want to stagger these guys better. because sometimes they get stuck at the door. So I'm going to move this guy in front, this guy towards the back. All right, that should work better. Okay, cool. Let's save it, and let's fast forward. Let's go. All right, here we go. Let's load in. And let's go get our trigger going. Get our mission active. Oh, they see me already. Oh, walk out. They're supposed to be running towards that spot. So, okay, it's fine. It's fine. All right, let's join them.
I am re-engaging the total system failure.
All right, explode one. And explode 2 more times. Got robots there, perfect.
Total system failure. All massive.
Hey! There we go, guys. We got the explosions going. We set them off. We created a fun little explosion that pops robots up. It's like poof, robot. Poof, robot. Alright, guys. There you go. Nice shorter tutorial today. Hope you enjoyed this video. And yes, if you did like and enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as everything does help out. And don't forget that if you're learning how to use the creation kit for the very first time, be sure to check out the beginning of this series so you can get set up correctly, get started on using the creation kit and learn tools, and create your first mod and creation in about 20 to 30 minutes. And that's it. Beyond that, guys, have yourselves an amazing day. We will see you all next time. Peace out. Thank you so much for all the love and support as always. Without you, we just wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sending in our hearts, guys. See y'all real soon. Peace.